Hi everyone, welcome back to the series on the Coventry U135 Congress that was played on Bank Holiday weekend. And Chip Chop luckily managed to go and get his money out, but he had to cancel his breakfast in the process, which meant he didn't get to have his infamous bacon and egg sandwich, which supposedly makes him win under 180 sections. See Painter for more details. Well, not win, but win grading prizes. So no infamous bacon and egg sandwich. So can Chip Chop defeat the mighty of Andrew Wiggins, who has been about 150 strength, and probably is about 150 strength, as the Fryer brothers will tell you. And he's won plenty of minors, and there's also he's been high rated as well. So this is not going to be easy. And Chip Chop has actually lost him before as well at Wycombe. He also plays for the same club as Steve Crockett, which is quite an interesting fact, which I thought I'd say. Anyway, Chip Chop opens with 1 knight f3 as usual. Now we get d5, c4, e6, c6, d4, e6, knight c3, knight f6, and now Bg5. So with this move, Chip Chop has to know what he's doing against dc4, which is the Bolshevik system, and h6, which is either the Moscow gambit, if white retreats the bishop, or white will take, which is the Moscow variation. I said we get Bg7, and now e3. An alternative is to play queen c2 immediately, which is the anti-Moran variation. e3 is chosen, which leads to the Moran, or as I call it, the Moran. Castles. Queen c2 is now played to now the anti-Moran. h6. And now the interesting move which you saw in the game against Kosim Akin. h4. Which is interesting, but not very good. Better is just to play it positionally, just maybe to chop an f6. Get rid of one of black's best pieces, across to the bishop pair. Bring the bishop out. Black will take, bishop takes, b5, bishop d3, bishop b7, castles. I think this is pretty good for whiteness. We've got rid of one of the most black's active pieces, and black's bishop on f6, which is his unopposed bishop, is batting on granite currently, which is not very not very good. So if I was white, I would play this more positionally, but no such thing as positional play with drip drop. h4 is played, and the bishop isn't taken, but it is sort of safe to take. hg, knight e4, and if white plays knight e4, d e4, queen e4, first of all black gives a check, which stops white from castling, unless he wants to play knight d2, which should get rid of a lot of his attack and leave the g5 pawn unattended. So king here. Now black swings queen across to f5, and I think black must have missed this move, this defensive resource, because now black and white's attack ends, and white's actually just a piece down for 2 pawns. Although he has got queen h. Actually, he's got queen h4 in this position, which forces f6, and then queen h5. And then black makes room for a king with rook d8. Now we have the move e4. Wow. The point being is after queen takes e4, we have g6. And black actually has to sack down d4 for a perpetual check. Wherever the king goes, say here, we play queen f4, force the king out to here, then we take this pawn, we check. And if white's king comes up, then he actually starts to lose. But now white has to move bishop e2. My engine's been very bipolar, he keeps changing his mind. You get this interesting position where white is down a lot of material but seems to have an attack still. That's an example of a very sharp line, that. Interestingly enough, the engines actually seem to like white's position more and more after h takes g5, and I think actually I would decline anyway, because why give white what he wants, because now h4 is just a wasted move. Knight bd7, castle's queen side, a6, preparing to get an attack on the castle king side, king b1, a very good consolidated move. Although white has to watch out for his queen and king being on the same diagonal. b5 to get counterplay. c5 to try and keep the queen side blocked up. And now rook e8. Now the bishop actually moves now. Finally moves after several moves. That bishop's been on priest for a lot of moves. Now a5. And now drop plays an interesting move. If you want to have a guess what it is, then please stop the video now. Now if I was white in this position, I would actually just play down with g4. Threatening g5, peeling open lines. If black takes, we just play rook g1. And if f5 to support the knights, then we just attack the knight again. If black starts playing stuff like h5, then it gives up the g5 square. And the e6 pawn's attacked, so black has to give his good bishop up. We take with his bishop with temple, and we're just going to get massive compensation for the pawn. And if black doesn't take and tries counter-attacking with b4, then we just stick the knight in on a4. And g5 is coming again with nasty threats. But Churchill decided to attack his bishop on b5 instead, which is interesting given that black's knight is getting into very good squares. But maybe it wasn't the best because it's also opening up white's king. So rook f8 was played because white is threatening in this position to play bishop c7, which wins the black queen. Bishop e7 anyway, forced the queen to a bad square. Knight comes into d6, and now because the queen is trapped, black has to give his bishop up. And in fact, white gets an exchange back, but it's not so great because now the dust is cleared. White has 2 pawns and a rook for 2 pieces, so white has a small material plus, but 2 pieces are usually better than the rook in the middle game, so it's only about equal less. And white's king is starting to look a bit drafty. c6 is interesting to try in this position, trying to get this passed pawn going. But after the move knight b8, the paradoxical retreat, c7, knight c6, this pawn is actually looking more of a weakness than a strength. Drop gives g4 in these annotations, like trying to get an attack going still. And then I think black should just develop his bishop to a6, and he should have enough to hold the balance. Instead, knight e1 was played, preparing to kick the knight with f3. Bishop comes out to a6, the knight is kicked, goes into g3, which is a nice square, rook h3, and now knight f5. Attacking the e3 point, and black is in a nice position. And white now plays f4 to protect it with the rook, but this is very bad because it leaves a massive weakness on e4. So white should not allow black to make use of the e4 square and protect it with a piece, so queen d2. And then retreat his rook perhaps. f4 was played, knight f6, knight d3 was played, now bishop takes d3, queen takes d3. And in this position a draw was agreed, but black should not be agreed to draw in this position, because black is much better in this position. Black has open files of white's king potential on the queen side. Black has the e4 square which can never be attacked. He has 2 beautiful knights. White's rook is outplaying h3. This is definitely better for black, this. So I'm very surprised the draw was agreed, but that moves drop onto 1.5 out of 2. And I said to him before that Andrew Wiggins is probably the strongest player he'll play in this section. So yeah, so good result. I had an interesting game with an interesting sack, although I think I still would recommend drop rather than sacking pieces for unclear compensation. Just playing positionally and trying to do a nice opposite side castle and hack. That's what my view would be. But I hope you enjoyed the game, and please leave in the comments some thoughts. Thanks very much.